So it came out a couple days ago that officers are infiltrating these left-wing radical groups in Britain and using sex as a tool in their arsenal to glean information from these activists. Apparently, it was sanctioned by the state, and in the Guardian article it says, undercover police officers routinely adopt the tactic of promiscuity with the blessings of senior commanders, according to a former agent who worked in the secretive unit of the Metropolitan Police for 4 years. One of the stipulations, according to the officer from the Special Demonstration Squad, a secret unit formed to prevent violent disorder on the streets of London, was that falling in love was considered highly unprofessional because it might compromise the investigation. He said, undercover officers, particularly those infiltrating environmental and left-wing groups, view having sex with large numbers of partners as part of the job. One of the former undercover police officers named Mark Kennedy said that it was a really promiscuous lifestyle, and you cannot not be promiscuous in these groups, otherwise you'll stand out straight away. And that really pissed off a lot of the female activists that they've been spying on. Apparently there was a protest at the Metropolitan Police Department, and several women were out there because they felt violated by the state. I mean, this really comes down to informed consent. I mean, these women weren't consenting to having relationships with police officers. And there was also female police officers posing as activists, too. The spokesperson for the police department was saying that under no circumstances are the police officers to sleep with protesters, and then he added, it's grossly unprofessional and it's a diversion from what they do. But is anyone really surprised that this is going on? I mean, yeah, it is a good way to get information out of people, but on the other, it's just highly unethical and disgusting that they're resorting to this kind of tactics to manipulate these people into divulging information. And honestly, to me, this is a form of rape, to present yourself as someone that you're clearly not. I mean, this is just sanctioned rape by the state to me. A complete violation of people's rights. The protesters are now demanding that a full inquiry, an independent inquiry, be brought against the police department, and also that the other undercover officers be outed. And this leads me to another story I found while reading about the other thing. Police could be forced to adopt more extreme tactics to counter the threat posed by student protesters and hacktivists. Text messages, Twitter, and Facebook used to organize campaigns in record speed have created a whole new dimension to public order. The Metropolitan Police faced questions over its handling of violent student protests last December, but Orr defended the hyper-kettling, corralling activists into an area, then decreasing the space, despite admitting that it could interfere with the rights of citizens. I can understand the need for it, Sir Hugh O'Day, I don't know how to pronounce it, the president of the Association of Chief Police Officers admitted. It is done for the greater good, and that's the really complex part of policing. He claims that the use of horses to charge protesters was, when proportionate, a very useful and effective strategy. UK Uncut, a group putting pressure on wealthy tax avoiders, will be repeating its high street demonstrations saturations that shut down Vodafone and Topshop branches in December by targeting other big names, including Boots. O'Day hinted that the UK Uncut protesters could face criminal charges and civil charges if they invade shops on Sunday. Walking into Topshop with the intent to cause damage means you're actually a burglar, he said. If you walk into Boots and do nothing, you are simply a trespasser, and the role of the police is to stand by to prevent a breach of peace. So walking into a store and doing nothing is a breach of peace. Bourdain, the head of the ACPO, a limited company run by the police chiefs, criticized the lack of willingness of the new protest groups that have sprung up around the internet to engage with police before protests. He said if they continue to refuse to cooperate, then police tactics would have to become more extreme. Oh, okay, so they're infiltrating groups and then threatening them. And how much you want to bet that these agents are acting like provocateurs, telling these people, oh no, you shouldn't speak to the police about what you're doing, or encouraging to do even more extreme acts. There are lots of people we can talk to, but they need to stand up and lead their people too. If they don't, we must be clear that people who wish to demonstrate won't engage, communicate, or share what they intend to do with us, and so our policing tactics will be different, slightly more extreme. So killing people on the street who didn't have anything to do with the protest, well, I guess that's not extreme enough for them. He said that while the vast majority of protesters were exercising their democratic rights, he believed that there had been others embedded in that crowd who were absolutely determined to do anything but that, and cause as much disorder and mayhem as they could for their own reasons, be they anarchists or not. People just want to cause trouble. Yeah. People just want to cause trouble. Yeah, especially government people who are embedded in these organizations. I'm sure they want to cause trouble so they can, arrest all these activists who are trying to shut down the capitalist status quo. This isn't surprising, though. This shit was going on during the RNC and the DNC, but people don't want to pay attention to it. I mean, it's easier just to look the other way. Come on, I mean, who wants to get fucking beaten down by a billy club, sprayed in the face with mace, held in a shitty little, cyclone fence holding cell, like, crammed full of other people, and then arraigned. I mean, this kettling situation is disgusting. I mean, they're sweeping up anyone and everyone, even if they're not protesters. And why the fuck should protesters tell the police what they're going to do? I really doubt that's what they had in mind during the forming of the Constitution, the right to free speech and the right to protest, but only when the cops say it's okay and you get the correct form signed and you speak to the right people and you only are there from here to here this time of day, as long as it's not affecting anyone else and commerce, well, then you can protest. But anyways, some good news is that the woman who had her breasts exposed and used in the Girls Gone Wild material is getting a retrial. The judge wrote, the court believes it's highly questionable whether a reasonable person reading the notices defendant contends were posted at the rum jungle would believe she was consenting merely by dancing fully clothed to the use of her image being spliced into and or used for promotion of pornographic material filmed not at the location. It is apparent to the court the plaintiff did not voluntarily expose her breast, and it would be apparent to the person making use of that footage that she did not consent to such exposure. So, well, at least she's going to get another trial. Who knows if she's going to get another dickhead jury. Hopefully there won't be as many assholes on that jury who think because a woman, goes into a bar and is drinking that she wants to flash her tits around and be in porn. or gives her consent just by being there. I mean, that's total rape culture right there. Oh, you wanted it because you were there. If you didn't want it, you wouldn't be there. So fucking disgusting.